Hey guys, I didn't know that was on. This is Eve. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. Okay. This channel is dedicated to exploring various topics in the metaphysics, looking at them from a very occult standpoint. And I just wanted to, show my face and just to say, hey, I'm still here, but I'm really battling with a lot of, issues, a lot of problems, trying to get myself recalibrated mentally, emotionally, and yes, even physically, because a lot of metaphysical and, like I said, spiritual things are affecting me physically now. um and so it's really not as much in terms of disseminating a lot of information. This information has more so stuff to do with me, because I don't want people that have obligations to and contracts to feel like I'm abandoning them, or I'm my lack of engagement or whatever is like some type of I don't know, like I feel some type of way, excuse me, or whatever the case may be. But no, I'm just really going through a lot of shit, and really a lot of stuff is starting to bubble up in terms of, what I have gone through from at this point. I feel like my life has not gotten any type of quote unquote relief for I don't know how many years. And so I'm constantly having life force energy dwindled out, and channeling requires a lot of life force energy. And so because my I guess what you would say physical life, my egoic life, right, this ego that I have to play in this realm, is not being nurtured, then it's hard for me to do what I got to do. You know what I mean? And do right by people. So I have to do right by myself. And it's just a lot of things I'm battling with. Conducting business in the matrix is not easy. And there's lots of things that are done to disenfranchise me and to marginalize me and to destroy me, basically. It's like things that, people try to explain away, but you can't really explain away a lot of shit. I mean, I'm dealing with a lot of, I call it PTSD, like from Vegas, even from, moving from Vegas and being targeted for human trafficking and so forth. It is, I really truly just can't get over it. I can't. Like, this is a true bitch session. Like, if you don't want to hear me bitch, I would totally just turn this off. And most people don't want to. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, you dictate your own life and this and the other. No, I didn't dictate this life. This ego that's speaking to you did not dictate all of these different things that are happening to me. You know what I mean? And so I really do, want um a lot of things to come to light. So, once they're brought to light, then, a lot of the problems I'm having can be dissipated, but it can't, you know what I mean? And until these things are exposed, I'm really working on exposing a lot of things. I have a whole lot of evidence to support the things I'm saying. So I'm trying to get, videos uploaded and things like that, and documents together to really, kind of showcase to people to say, hey, looking at this, what is happening? What is going on? In Vegas, I was stalked. I was stalked relentlessly. I know that people are like tired of hearing about my car and shit like that, but really that was just one of many incidences that depicts, what happens to you when you are stalked and targeted, you know? I mean, there's no reason for somebody to come and repo my car. You shouldn't be repoing a car that doesn't have payments on it. And then when you send the repo man, don't be like knocking on my door saying my name through the door for 10 minutes. Listen, repo people just take your car, honey. They don't really go that far as like walking outside of your door and, bamming on your door, calling your name through the door. Just take your car. It doesn't make any sense. The repo man was knocking at my door like at 9, 10 in the morning. I call my sister. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, I'm gonna call the police because there's some strange man calling my name through the door. He didn't leave a note saying that this is, my name is such and such. I'm affiliated with this car dealership, whatever the case is. And I lived in the ghetto, so like if I brought anybody up there, like who's that person, that have that person sign in, how this person get past security, for first of all. Now, not only that, but the person met me like 10 hours later, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock that night, talking to me about, whatever. I said, sir, was that you knocking on my door at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning? I was like, you didn't disclose who you were. I said, I thought that you were some type of intruder or some type of crazy person. He's like, well, you know, something went wrong at the bank and this, that, and the other. I was like, okay, are you a repo person? How do you know what went wrong at the bank? You're just supposed to come and take the fucking car. I don't really understand. And so I cussed him out from A to Z. I was like, you know what? I've had this, I've had it, whatever the case is. You announce yourself, I'm a female, whatever the case is. This is a stalking situation, obviously. I went to the dealership the next day and I said, hey, what's the deal with this? They were like, oh, well, there's an issue at the bank. And so we're moving your APR from 11 something to, what was it? I think it was like 16 plus percent. I was like, how do I have better credit coming into this dealership 2 years later? Right? I think the first APR was like 7 something. Now it's 11 something. And then when I left with the car that I bought, it was 11 something. And then they're like, oh, you were nasty to our um what is it, a repo person, and so that's another reason why it's 16 something percent. I have this all on tape. I'm like, excuse me, you're telling me that it's because I was rude to your repo person that my car's APR is increased? That doesn't make any fucking sense. You're a fucking liar. You know what I mean? So I said, keep your car. I don't really give a fuck. I'll buy another car. I bought another car. The person that bought me in Vegas had that one stolen. I just said to myself, like, this can't be happening to me. These are things that people like, oh, it's not a big deal. Just shrug it off. No, it's not. It is a big deal. It's not about the fucking car. It's about the principle of the matter. It's about the fact that, you know what? I did a lot of work, when I first came to Vegas, trying to dig myself out of debt after my divorce, really trying to kind of get grounded. And for somebody to take the hard work that I've done and to just turn it around like it never happened. I just say to myself, really? To get sold off like a piece of meat to somebody who is, got a small dick that really has to buy bitches to fuck them? Really? You're that inadequate, sir, that you have to buy someone to fuck them. I don't understand. And this is what I'm worth? Sorry, it's funny. Really? That's so desperate, pathetic, and degenerate. So leaving Vegas was really a very traumatic thing. When I left Vegas, I didn't tell anybody I was leaving, but they still found me in Trump Tower. I just said to myself, like, really? I just said to myself, like, this is not happening to me. What the fuck? you know I just I just could not fathom like how something like that could happen to someone like me, being educated, having a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, being in my career for over 16 years, and having an impeccable record. I mean, I'm a rule follower. I do what I'm told, and people tell you do the right thing, you get the right. No, I found out that I did all the right things and my life got fucked up. You see what I'm saying? Um, and I just say to myself, like, after all this is said and done, to have somebody come to me like they truly love me when they really don't give a flying fuck about me. All they give a fuck about is themselves. You see what I'm saying? So this man, all he gives a fuck about is himself and his money. He thinks that he can buy people and that he can do whatever the fuck he wants. You see what I'm saying? It's like, oh, money talks. No, not with bitches like me. You know what I mean? So it's the principle of the matter. You know what I mean? I like nice things just like everybody else. I do. Of course I want, nice things, but I want to work for those nice things that I have. Do you see what I'm saying? And if I'm given those things, I want to be given those things by someone who's respectable. And you are not respectable. You see what I'm saying? So, with my dad's situation as well, too, still haven't gotten over that. The fact that my dad, when I went to work on him or whatnot and got psychic, I guess you would say, information that his injury was foul play, and how circumstances involving his death and how they didn't want to take the, tube out of his mouth and put the trach in. It caused a lot of infection. I mean, it was just like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? I really just don't understand. If I want to kill somebody and take their money, I'll be the first to say, I want that motherfucker dead. I want his money. I'm definitely somebody that is, people consider to be somewhat dangerous because I'm honest. You know what I mean? I'm just not somebody to throw stones and hide my hands. I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to do something bad, I want the world to know it. I want the world to see it. You can put it on rewind 33 times, honey. I don't really give a flying fuck. Some people, they do their debauchery and they have to hide it and scoot it under the rug. Whereas with me, hey, I'll let you know and scream from the hill, I'm a hoe. I don't give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? If I want to be a hoe, be a hoe. That's my choice. If that's my conscious choice, that's my conscious choice. You deal with it. It has nothing to do with you and your life. This is my life. Okay? This is my life. It has nothing to do with you and your life. Okay? After this life is said and done, I have the one to take it upon myself energetically. Not you. You're trying to control something that does not belong to you. So I don't really respect people who throw stones and hide their hands. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to be a dark place from a dark place, then go ahead and make sure that you expose that darkness. If you're going to be from a light place, then go ahead and expose that light that you have. But you're no better than me, right? You're no better than me when you are hiding things and pushing people into ditches and shit like that, right? And I mean, the stuff involving my dad's death and his will, and secret weddings and stuff like that, and hiding wills and stuff like that, and my name being on the will that's the original will to be filed, and if my name is not on there, and his ex-wife, which is the first wife, right? She was deceased or whatever. She was deceased since the will was drawn, but she and my name are on the original will. So if they are able, my family's to get my name off of the will, then the money goes to my mother. So, given the circumstances involving my dad's death, and then coming back from Las Vegas and dealing with my dad's death, and how, you know, I felt some kind of way about it, and I was really mourning my dad more than I thought I would. And my family was like, we don't care about you mourning your dad. They were like, who cares? They were like, we don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear about your dad. We don't want to hear about you being human trafficked in Las Vegas and, trying to get, police reports and having your funds dwindled and have to travel back from Atlanta to Las Vegas to see, if you can get this police report to give to your insurance company and going back and forth and, all this stuff and your gang stalk. We don't care. And I just said to myself, like, listen, when I was in Vegas, I was sending home money every month to my sister, right? And to that household to make sure that she was sustained until she was able to get on her feet, get her disability and everything. And to be literally thrown out. I was literally thrown out of the house for no reason. I was like, okay, what's the point in throwing me out? I spent so much money and sending home to you guys. Like now it's like, okay, well, because I have, been a victim of human trafficking and, you know, um, just going through all of these different things or whatever the case is, it's like, oh, we don't really give a shit about you. And I say to myself, that's so disgusting. Like I've never seen anything like that before. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make rational sense when someone contributes to you and puts into you. And it wasn't like I was just there. I had planned on just staying with family for maybe like a month until I actually made my way to where my daughter is. But to cook and clean and you know and cater and provide money when I could, at that point, I said to myself, to be kicked out, that's very sad. That's very disgusting and pathetic and degenerate. You know what I mean? And I'm mad as hell. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger that's pent up inside of me. You know what I mean? And to see how people get a sick satisfaction from that. It goes to show that there's nothing wrong with me, but there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with people who get a sick satisfaction and sit back and say, yeah, that person felt bad. And you won't show yourself. Show yourself. The fact that you can't show yourself and you can't show the fact that you get some type of sick satisfaction from watching people suffer, that really goes to show that you need to be judged instead of judging other people. You know? So I'm the type of person where you can't really judge a person like me. If I want to kill somebody, why would I hide that? If I want to, steal from someone, why would I hide that? You see what I'm saying? I'd be like, you know what? Go ahead and keep that trach in there because I really want that motherfucker dead. You know what I mean? I want to take his money and be with the man I really want to be with, and I'm good. I mean, nobody can really be like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really that type of bitch, in front of everyone. And I'm like, listen, at least I told you who I am. But most people, they have to hide things. They have to keep things secret. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you're so respectable. You have to get rid of the light, right? So you could be dark. Does that really show that you have courage? Good luck getting rid of me. I'm sorry. It's really, really funny to see how fucked up and worthless people are nowadays. But my dad worked for everything, every penny that he made. And, despite the fact that, hey, I'm struggling or whatnot, that is my father's money. It's not my money. You see what I'm saying? I didn't work for it. Now, it would be nice if he's like, oh, you know what? Here, you can have some of the money that I work for because you're my daughter, or whatever the case is. But listen, he doesn't have to because that's not my money. You see what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of foul play involved, and there are things that I am not getting, that I haven't really dealt with. The passing of my dog, and, my dog being there was really something that kind of helped me to kind of block a lot of, um, issues and stuff like that I was having. You know what I mean? And so now that my dog's not there, it's like, okay, a lot of this stuff is coming up, and I'm like, okay, I can't be of service to other people if I'm not of service to myself. You see what I'm saying? I got to get my head above water here. And it's 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 not working out. You know what I mean? I'm always in constant fear about certain things given my circumstances, and having a crown of thorns is taking me away from my root. And so, in doing that, I've come to discover in doing my meditations and so forth, my sacral nerve is out of whack. It's weak. Like I have 2.5 seconds to take a shit. You know what I mean? It's like, that goes to show the sacral and the root chakra aspect of my being. My being is being taken away from my root, which is life, to my crown, which is death, right? So there's this whole purpose of doing that. So, um, people can get rid of me. You know what I mean? And I just say to myself, like, you're so pathetic and needy and desperate. Show yourself. If you can't show yourself and show what you're doing, show us what you're doing, then you're a coward. You deserve nothing. You mean to tell me that cowards deserve something? That's so sad. So I was taught that cowards are not admirable, but I suppose with Rome they are. So good luck to you, and I hope you enjoy. You know what I mean? You've worked so hard to be deceptive, disgusting, pathetic, and degenerate to have it. So, with that being said, guys, I don't want you to think that I am trying to, avoid getting out of my contract with you, or, abandoning you, or, it's not like that. It's just the fact that I have a lot of family ties that are fucked up. I have a lot of post traumatic syndrome, and then I don't have my dog here to kind of help me to buffer that. You know what I mean? The circumstances involving my dog's death is extremely disgusting. And, I just say to myself, like, the person that's responsible for killing my dog, I say to myself, like, you know, I don't really know, like, what to say. First of all, I don't know what to say to this person. I say to myself, like, how low can you go? You know what I mean? Like, how low can you go? I I really just don't understand. The little try to take the little bit that I do have, things I work for, and just totally just destroy it. You know what I mean? I had thousands of clothes, thousands of dollars of clothes and shoes and stuff like that, that I actually worked hard for in Vegas. I did. I worked very hard for those things. And for those things to be stolen from me in the blink of an eye. And I have to replenish my clothes and shit like that. And then when I try to replenish my stuff, those things are taken away as well. I just say to myself, like, how disgustingly pathetic are you? Are you that desperate for pussy, sir? You are so desperate and needy and whack. And so, I mean, if I were this desperate, I'm sure that I would be judged, right? But how can you be this desperate and be able to get what you want? Really? You're so whack and worthless. A lot of my gang stalking has amped up lately. I've been really esoteric with a lot of stuff I'm saying. A lot of stuff I'm saying is, will get you judged here. But I don't care. You know what I mean? Because I feel that the information I have will be, freedom for many people, especially my people, my RH negatives. And it frees up your consciousness and it allows you to, see things more clearly in a way that doesn't judge you. And so when you are free from judgment, you have true freedom. And so I feel like beings like me, people can find rest because we're not really so much into judgment. I mean, we're human, we're in the flesh, so judgment is a part of our reality per se, but you don't have to be a victim of those judgments. You know what I mean? You can get beyond this realm without judgment, you know? And most beings will not do that and they'll reincarnate because they they still feel connected to their judgments. Judgment is the lowest taxonomy of knowledge in the matrix. When you get beyond what you see, how and why things have come to be, and so it undoes judgment. But they want to keep this game going, and this game of judgment makes them feel good about themselves. They get a high off of it, they get loose off of it, they get energy off of it. You know what I mean? And so they will try to destroy you and they will try to focus on what you really love and what you really hate. You know what I mean? Everything in between is not so much a target, but what you really love, excuse me, guys, what you really love and what you really hate is what the focus is. You see what I'm saying? And so, the powers that be, their time is up and they really need to just give it up and turn it loose. But, people always want to hold on to power. Power is very important to them. They'll tell you, give up power and, this and the other. But no, they really, really, really crave power. And that's something that they get off on. And somebody needs to take their power away, you know. So hopefully that time comes, right, when Christ actually comes. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, guys, and trying to tell you, where I'm at, the place I'm at, like I said, with Chewy dying and, with my father's stuff still weighing on me and how my family has treated me, whatever the case is, knowing my circumstances, being targeted, being human trafficked, my dad not being empathetic and sympathetic to what's going on. A lot of things have come crashing down on me. So, like I said, I want to be of service to you, but I can't be of service to you until I kind of work out these energy blockages so it doesn't start affecting me, physically, because it can. It can. Like I said, my sacral nerve is very much weak. So, I'm trying to get myself together and strengthen my ego and become more self centered so once that's strong, then I can actually, kind of stray away from my ego a little bit to help other people. Okay. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about, guys. I'm going to go ahead and retire and go to sleep since I've been lifting and stuff for a little bit. But, I hope to be back at it, full throttle soon. All right. All right. So I'll see you in my next video.